Hello, and welcome to Havoc Wargaming, dedicated to bringing you the uncommon. For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Ron, and today we're going to do a gameplay video of Battlespace by Modiphius Games and Robert Salter. So let's get started. Recently on the Facebook for Battlespace, it was mentioned that there wasn't a very good in-depth video on how to play the game, and so I offered that I would try to do one of these after returning from Scotland. So this is my attempt at that. I'm going to freely admit I'm not very good at doing in-depth games sometimes. I forget that that's what I'm doing. I'm going to show the video that I filmed. I'm going to try to fill in if I feel like I've missed explaining why I was doing things by using lower thirds. If I'm not clear, if you still have questions or there's something you'd like to see more information on, please let me know in the comment section down below and I can do a video specifically on that. The game itself, Battlespace, is not a very difficult or complicated game. In fact, when I first started to play it, it was suggested to me by its author, by Robert Salter. And I'm gonna be honest, when I first saw it, I thought there wasn't much of a game here. I thought I'd be disappointed. Instead, it's actually a brilliant game. It's a very nice system, very well set up and does what it means to do really well. But it's also a really good sandbox. We have used this to play not only ultra modern wargaming like it's designed for, but we have used it to play a fictional Russian Civil War. We have used it to play Cowboys and Indians. I'm running a Star Wars campaign using it right now. There's really good adaptions for it on the Facebook page for doing it for Zona Alpha in a post-apocalyptic sort of Russian-controlled exclusionary zone. There's a good Vietnam adaptation for it that's available on there. So it's really, really able to be stretched into many different things and used in several different ways than just that it's intended for. So I think it's brilliant for that. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to do the first scenario out of the book, mostly using the basic roles. I think I occasionally slip into some advanced roles. But mostly I'm using the basic rules of the basic game to give some idea and show you how it works. And like I say, I'm going to do my best. I think there were places where I was kind of mumbling on the video or where I may not have been describing fully why or what I was doing. So I'll try to fill those out either by coming back in with a talking head like I'm doing now or with some lower third description. Anyway, enough of that. Let's go to the gaming table. So this is the table set up for a Battlespace scenario. This is the first scenario in the book, Mission 1. Command has just informed your team that a patrol was ambushed by small arms fire on their way back to the FOB. Your team is the only asset in the area and must proceed to the site of the attack and recover any survivors. So the objectives are to search for survivors by interacting with the Humvee, which is over there. If you find any survivors, you're to take them out and getting them off the opposite end of the table over there. You're coming on here. The game consists of a lot of cards. We'll talk about how some of those cards work. There are soldier cards. These are the various rosters. They show pictures of the different units, give them their stats. The stats are the amount of hits they take, HP, the initiative. The lower the number is, the better it is. You're always rolling over these things. Accuracy is an addition to accuracy to shooting, and then hand-to-hand pretty obvious. There's also often special abilities down below. These are divided by different units. If you play all the same units, you get a couple of advantages. We'll talk about that. Those are your soldiers. You pick from those. Then there's gear cards. The gear cards give additional information that you can choose to help achieve your objective. Some of them give bonuses to the whole team. Some of them make a person a primary role, like this one that there makes this character who carries this designated marksman. The number of grenades is the cost, so it costs 3 of your gear points, and it deals 2 wounds instead of just the usual 1 wound. So you choose from the normally 12 points of gear to spend in the game. It's 3 points per man. I say normally because there's a few guys that give the ability to carry extra gear. The next set of cards I'll talk about are your enemy cards. The enemy cards give the stats for the various enemies. These are just reminders for playing the game, a way we can quickly look and see what their stats are. They're not like random or anything. They're just, you pre-designate who you're going to be playing in advance. For instance, for today's game, I've got pulled aside here an Insurgent Soldier Straggler, which is probably unnecessary, Insurgent Fighter Element, and Insurgent Fighter Straggler. The difference between a straggler and element is if a character is on its own, or an enemy is by itself, it is a straggler. An element will be a group combined together in a unit. And then the last deck of great importance to the game are the sit-rep cards. The sit-rep cards act as the AI driving force, or part of that AI driving force of the game, and a part of what gives the game its unique feel. So those are the basic cards. What I've done right now is I've picked a team. Well, I say I picked. I'm using CIA. There's only 4 CIA in the deck. I have Dalquist here. Dalquist is serving as our leader, our team leader. This will give him, once per player phase, a leader or another soldier from his team that's in his line of sight maybe roll a failed initiative roll. He's carrying the TO3 grenade launcher. He also normally receives +1 on his own initiative roll if he's the first in the fire team to attempt an initiative roll during any new player phase. Ross here is carrying the forward grip, which gives him a +1 to his shooting. Then Krebs is carrying the light machine gun for the group. And then Crawford here is acting as our medic. He's also got an ability to heal even beyond the first aid pack that makes him a medic. We're also carrying an extra tourniquet. Krebs is carrying a tourniquet. So that's basically our force. We're going to start from here. This is perhaps the most important card in the deck, called the maneuver card. But this card handles your movements. It is an area of effect card. It does your point of impact for any grenades or launch weapons like that. It gives the throwing arc. It is pretty much the universal everything card. Now, I'm playing this game in 28mm, which I usually do. The writer of it, I believe, plays it in 20mm, and that's caused some people to believe that the game was meant to be a 20mm game. Maybe he plays 15, I can't remember. But that's not really defined anywhere. Some people have made bigger cards to play 28. I don't see that it really matters a lot, except in the grenade weapons. The grenade ranges are kind of silly using these little cards. I'll show you what I mean if that comes up. It probably will. We are carrying a 203. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and start playing the game. To begin, to be deployed, they'll have to fit within the area of effect, which is one of these cards. This is an acrylic one that I got from Robert Salter years ago. There are STLs available for the larger 128 size versions of these if the smaller size bothers you playing 128. I don't see how it really matters as long as I'm consistent. Save the effect, as I mentioned earlier, that of some of the ranged weapons, the grenades. That sets up our deployment. In new roles, one of the things that they've added is faction abilities. CIA field agent works in a broad variety of roles, protecting national security of the country, For each enemy a CIA agent KIAs in hand-to-hand combat, the CIA team receives an intel point. Intel points can be spent to negate a sit-rep card drawn during the player phase. 1 intel point negates 1 sit-rep card. Sit-rep card is then treated as if it were playing on a discard pile if directed to the bottom of the sit-rep deck. All right, so we got to count our kills towards intel. One of the things that's changed between the original series of the books and the deluxe book is how random enemies at the beginning get placed. In the original game, the scenarios called for a certain number of figures in each starting position. Now they have a starting deployment zone, and you randomly roll to figure out what starts there at the beginning using a random enemy chart. So in this particular scenario, they're all beginning the game in this alleyway right over here. And I rolled a 15. That's an element of D3 plus 1 models. So D3 plus 1. That's going to be 3. So we do start with an element. This is probably the group that took out the Humvee. There are rolls for civilians. Unless some show up in the game, I'm not going to worry about that. So these guys have to stay in an elemental base of each other as well, because they are an element, are in a area of effect that, oh, let's give, no, I'll just assume that that rocket launcher is not there. So that's where we start. So the game consists of a series of phases. There's the player phase, sit rep phase, and clear phase. A new turn will begin with a player phase, and this decides whether we're successful or not. We're going to take turns activating soldiers, rolling a d20, and you want to roll equal to or higher to the soldier's initiative. If you're successful, then you can issue 2 orders and 1 free order, which are executed before you move on your next soldier. On any natural 20, you get +1 order, so you get 3 orders and 1 free order. If the roll is failed, you draw a sit rep card and follow its instructions immediately. Then you place the sit rep card in the discard pile, and the soldier only gets to use 1 order and 1 free order. The orders. Well, there are 10 different orders the soldiers can be given during the player phase, including 3 kinds of movement and 2 kinds of shooting attack. Movements are move, that's a regular move, it's the distance of the card, the width of the long ways of the card. An advance, which is 2 of those. A sprint, which is 3 of those. However, you were then winded and unable to fulfill full potential. You're -2 to your next initiative roll. And then climbing. The shooting attacks are fire weapon or aimed fire. Aimed fire takes 2 actions. Advance takes 2 actions, as I recall, too. Yeah, 2 orders, I should say. The miscellaneous are thrown weapons, first aid, go to ground, use gear. You can only perform a named order once in a turn. You'll notice that that hand-to-hand is not listed as a named order. That's important. But you can't fire, you can't move, though an advance is basically a move. The free orders are simple interactions with other objects and models, such as opening doors, pulling levers, moving small objects. They're considered almost effortless. First thing we're going to do is activate our leader, Dalquist. He gets a +1 to his initiative roll if he's the first on the team to activate. His initiative is 7, so he needs a 6. He fails. He could use his ability to re-roll that, which I think I'm going to do. Okay, so by doing that, it means he's not going to use it for somebody else. He's going to go to there. Takes cover in the doorway there. Next, we'll try to activate Crawford. Crawford's a 7. He's made it. Doing advances. Ross. I almost crit. I almost got to do 3. Put him there. And now Krebs last. Krebs failed. All right, so what that means is we pull, because I've already used the reroll, I can't use it again. So we're going to have to pull a sit rep card, and what we get is contact rear. The enemy straggler or element nearest to the last soldier that attempted initiative roll moves and attacks the nearest soldier. So it also says that this gets put into the discard, and then the discards get reshuffled in. So that's still in there. They're going to get a move and an attack. I'm going to give them a chance to shoot because I think they can shoot it, our guy in the cover. At least one of them can. So this is an insurgent fighter element. They're TL9, which means we have to roll over a 9, which we did. All right, and now he can go, but he can only has one action, so he's going to go to there. So now it's the actual sit rep phase. So we pull a sit rep card for the enemy. We get IED. Oh boy, we are not off to a good start here. The first soldier that attempted initiative roll this turn has stepped onto an IED. If failed, the soldier receives 3 wounds. All models in the AoE are knocked prone and the soldier fails. Remove this card from game. So this card is out of the game. However, I have to roll over a 6. This would have been for my leader. So I have to roll over a 6 on this, and I get a 10, so we're okay. Now, normally, anything that hadn't activated would get to activate, but the only things on the table did activate on that other card, and that was these guys moving forward over here. We get to go back to activations for our squad. So we start again with turn 2. We need to get our guy out of the street. I'm going to go ahead and roll a 6 or higher for Dalquist to activate. He does. He's going to move to the corner of that bin, and I'm going to go ahead and shoot. Now, they are in cover. This is solid cover, so this is going to be a 2. I get a +1, so that's going to make it -1. So there are 9s, I need 8. No, I need a 10. I miss. All right. I'll try to activate Krebs. He's going to come forward. So Krebs has an 8. He's fine. He's going to do an advance to get into the cover. Then we're going to try to move Crawford. Crawford's fine. And the last is Ross. Ross is not good, but I didn't re-roll this time, so we can use the re-roll ability, and this time he's fine, and he's going to move up to here. So those are advances. They're not going to get shot. Most of them have done advances. We now go to the sit-rut turn. Whoops. They're engaging us. All enemy elements activate. They will move towards the nearest soldier and make an attack. If there are no soldiers in line of sight after move, all the enemy elements will perform a second move. All right, so things are going to get hairy here. They're going to move to here. And they're all shooting. We're in heavy cover this time, or in cover. Again, it's a 9. The cover is going to make it 7. And we'll just roll down the list. So, first one, that is not good. Critical hit. A 1 on their to hit. That's a critical wound. Some wounds are too significant for a model to sustain and continue to fight. A soldier receives a critical wound when, if they are a target of attack, and a 1 is rolled. Regardless of his current HP, if the model receives a critical wound, it is instantly down. A critical wound can be viewed as a 1 or up to 4. It is based on what number of wounds are needed for the model to be down. Place that number of wounds on the model, as a critical wound will cause the soldier to be KIA. So Dahlquist has taken 4 rounds, just like that. Boom. That is not good. The second guy is going to shoot there at Crawford. 14. That is a miss. And then the third guy is shooting at, this is a Crawford. 7. Crawford, that's a hit. I'm going to start by firing with Krebs. So Krebs is shooting. They are in cover. So 9. Cover makes it 11. He has an accuracy of +3, but there's a -2 for the machine gun, so it's going to be a +1. So 9, 10, 11. Makes it back to 10. That's a miss. You could have done suppression. Maybe you should have done suppression. Oh, it doesn't have to hit. So this machine can automatically form a second shooting attack against target within the AoE of its first target, which he's going to go ahead and do. So again, 10. No. I'm going to roll for the doctor. Crawford is a 7. 16. He's going to come over to keep bandages up Dahlquist. What that does, perform first aid to the model, remove 1 wound. He was down to 4 based on what it said for how the critical worked. So when the soldier performs first aid, the soldier has suffered 3 wounds or more, the -1 modifier for receiving 3 wounds or more. But I think he's still going to have that -1 because he's only at 3 right now. All right, Ross. Ross is going to shoot. He's going to do an aim shoot. This will take 2 action. Well, first he has to roll his initiative. And he doesn't. Great. So we get reinforcements. Enemy element of 1d6 men enters the mission area on a random edge. I rolled 1. That's not an element. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. They're coming in from the side we're on. And now he gets an activate. So he's not going to be able to get his aim fire, but he's still going to shoot. 10, 11. He has a +3. So that's going to make it actually 8. That's a hit. Boom. He takes one of them down. And they now have 1 intel because of the CIA. But it is sit rep phase. So we pull a sit rep card. We get lost my balance, roll a TL6, roll immediately. Soldier furthest from an enemy loses his footing. If the roll is failed, the soldier falls prone. That's going to be Crawford. That's not a huge issue, I don't think. 6, he makes it anyway. And the other guys, so I think they can shoot. I don't believe they activated that turn at all. So they're going to get to shoot. They're going to shoot at Krebs, who's probably the only one really exposed. They're 9, Krebs is in, so it's 11. No, it's the other way around. 7s. First is successful. That's in the crack. That's a hit. Krebs is hit. All right, so it's our turn. Krebs is going to shoot that machine gun. He's going to shoot at the 2 guys that are hiding there. He's got an accuracy of +3. The weapon has an accuracy of -2, so that's only +1. The cover is going to make it -2, so in the end it's going to be -1. And they're 9s, so he needs 10. So the first one is a hit. Kills one of those guys, boom. And the second one is a hit. Did I roll for his initiative? I hope I did. That's more like it. 3. And he can use his tourniquet to take his wound off. I'm going to go ahead and activate Crawford on a 7. That's critical. So he can use 2 orders to use his remove 1 wound on a teammate, bringing Dalquist up to 2. He still has a move he can make. Dalquist, good success on his, so he's going to get, Stand is going to be in action, but he's still got 2 more because he critted. He's going to move to here. And the last is Ross, and Ross is going to move up next to the doctor. We don't want to do that. They get a +1 on their initiatives. I've been forgetting about that. If they are all within area of effect. So, sit rep card. War cry. All enemies in the mission area have +1 TL to the end of the turn. There is only 1 in the area. He's not going to be activated by the general rules, which means he's going to approach. He doesn't have anybody in line of sight yet, but he's going to move to here. Oh, he'll have a line of sight. He's going to come around the corner there and shoot at Ross. Ross is an obscured, normally at TL 9, but because there's no other insurgents in line of sight, the surgeon fighter's at TL 8. So he's at 8, but he's in cover. That puts him back to 9. Our guy's in cover. That make it 7. Obscure cover, so he's fine. And that's that turn done. We're going to activate Dalquist. Dalquist activates on a 7. If he's first, he activates on a 6. He's got it. He's going to aim and shoot at that new guy. The guy is 8. He's in cover. Is going to make it 9. But the aim is going to make it 8. Boom. He's dead. Just like that. Boom. Right now there are no insurgents on the table. So we can start trying to move a little braver, maybe. I'm going to try to move the doctor. Crawford activates on a 7. 14. He's fine. He's going to advance to there. And we'll try to do Ross. That would be a miss normally, but we can use our reroll now because we haven't used it yet. So that's fine. Ross is going to advance to here. And let's finally get Krebs up. You're not going to be in plus areas for that, but that's okay. So we have to pull sit rep card. We get shots fired. A straggler enters the mission area from the nearest building or terrain feature, car door, building, door, bush, to a soldier with the highest initiative and attacks the nearest soldier. If 2 or more soldiers have equal initiative, the player must choose one of the soldiers. The highest is Krebs. It's going to be here. One of the things they've done in the new version that I really like is they have a maximum of how many people can pop out of locations now. Only 3 enemies can possibly be hiding in there. I've rolled 3. Put a little die on here to remind us that there could be 2 more people coming out of there. But now if I keep rolling guys coming out of there, it won't be endless, which used to happen in the old game. So he pops out and he's going to shoot at Krebs, and he's behind Krebs, who's now exposed. So he's at 10, we're fine. And that is it. We're going to activate with Dahlquist first. He gets a +1 if he's first, so he needs a 6. He's fine. He is facing absolutely the wrong way. He's going to do an aim and shoot at the guy that just popped out of the woods shooting at our machine gunner. That guy probably should have been in cover, so let's make it 10 for that, but aim would have taken that off. So I need a 9, 15, he's dead. We're going to activate the doctor, Crawford. He activates on a 7, he fails. We can do the reroll, 10. Go ahead and do a sprint. Ross is going to go as well. Let's see if we can get Krebs in somewhere to cover. 16. Okay, he's going to go at least a little cover there, I hope. That was pretty easily done. We may actually make this pretty soon. But we now get a sit-rep card. We get Lost Visual. Point man from the nearest enemy element to a soldier throws a smoke grenade between his element and the soldier. But we don't have a man out here. Right now there are no bad guys. I'm going to have to sprint with Dahlquist to catch up to everybody. He's going to re-roll. He still doesn't make it. So he's not going to be able to sprint. And we do get a sit-rep card. We get Trap. The last soldier that attempted initiative roll has stumbled onto a tripwire. Roll d20 for the outcome. He's really been bad with IEDs. 15. Enemy alerted. 1d6 stragglers enter the mission area from random edges furthest from the soldiers. 1d6 enemies. That's a lot. 3. Not so bad. 3 random furthest from soldiers. Sit-rep phase. We get Sniper. Not good. Place 1 enemy sniper on the highest elevation furthest from the soldiers. The enemy sniper will activate last during the sit-rep phase. When the sniper activates, he will move towards the nearest soldier and attack a soldier in line of sight, but will remain in elevation. Keep this card in play until you kill him. The sniper. This is not good. Try to get the boss to do something. 13. Shoot the sniper. 15. It's a mess. Boom. Try to activate Ross. Ross is fine. Ross is going to get up. Ross gets up to the Humvee and searches. Roll a d20. We get a 16. 1 wounded survivor must be carried by the member. The fire team, the wounded survivor is unconscious, unable to move. Alright, so they have 1 wounded guy. Let's try to activate Crawford. He's on a 7. Crawford's gonna take shelter behind the Humvee and shoot. 14, 15. That's a mess. Krebs. Krebs misses it. That's another. I'm going to use one of our intel to stop that sit rep card. And then I'm going to shoot 14. That's a hit. 2 points. Kills him. Killed him with a machine gun. And that gives us that point back. And can still give him a chance to move because he didn't do a... We're going to use 4. I don't know if I can do that. 4 to stop that sit rep. It's going to still cause these guys to come forward. He's going to shoot at Dahlquist. He is a straggler. He's a 9. Going to be 8 though because of the cover. That's a hit. That's not what we needed. Dahlquist is hit again. Things aren't going well for Dahlquist. He's not making out of here, I don't think. He can shoot. He's going to shoot at Krebs. Krebs is going to count as obscured. So 8. That's a miss. And this one's going to have to go twice. Our turn. Dragging a downed person just means you can't use your main weapon. You have to use your pistol. Counts as a free action, so he should still get his 2 rounds. So I'm going to roll for Ross. He's got a 7. He's fine. Dance. All right. I think we're going to pull this off. I'm going to try to get the doctor off. He activates on the 7. Yeah. Yeah, he's off the table. Krebs is going to try to activate. Yep. He's going to go for the cover here. And then he's going to shoot his machine gun, hit this guy behind the truck. That's a 2, so 9, 10, 11. We'll go to 10 because of the accuracy. That's a hit. Boom. And lastly, he can roll twice though. We'll use his reroll. Didn't advance to there. Sit rep phase, we get gear drop. Place a marker in a random direction. D6 moves from the center of the mission area. 2. Alright, it's in here. No one's going back for that. We would have been able to get extra gear, but I don't think anyone's heading back that way. We're getting off the table. So the guys that didn't activate, this one's going to come here. Shoot. Probably both shooting at the boss. 9. He's in cover. So 7. 20. He's fine either way. So on our turn, activate the 6 for Dahlquist. He gets an 18. He's going to shoot one of those guys right in front of him. They're both in cover. So it would normally be 9. That would make it 11. His skill makes it 10. That's a miss. Machine gunner, same thing. Well, he has to activate first. This is Krebs, he activates. His first shot is 12. That kills one of them. And the second shot kills the other one. And he can still move. I think he's going to stay there, though. And has to re-roll that. Okay. We do not get the guy off the table yet. New sit rep card. I'm going to use that extra one to ignore it. They pull another sit rep card. I'm going to use my special ability to ignore that. And there's none of them on the table. So it goes to our turn. The wounded guy is off the table. Krebs pulls a sit rep card. We're going to use an intel to ignore it. And then he's going to start pulling off. And the boss. Pull sit rep card. We use the intel to ignore it. tosses off the table. Everybody's off the table. So, we got off the table safely. We secured the man in the vehicle, and mission's a success. So I hope that was useful. I hope it gave some idea how the rules for Battlespace are played. As I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions, please let me know in the content section down below. Also, if you have experience with the game, I'd like to see your comments regarding that in the section down below as well. Also, if you have any ideas for other videos you'd like to see us produce here on Cry Havoc Wargaming, we look at the video section for that as well. This sort of came that way. It was through Facebook, not through the YouTube channel, but still. Always looking for ideas of things that I can do, and things that I've already got that are games I already play. That's like the easiest thing for me to do. If you've liked the video, I hope you'll hit like, and if you'd like to receive further notifications for videos like this one that may help you determine how to better spend your time or money in your tabletop wargaming hobby, then I hope you'll hit subscribe and ring our notification bell. If you'd like to support the page financially, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee page. And until next time, cheers.